Welcome to Forex Edge. I'd like to take a couple minutes and talk about our Forex Speedometers. If you're new to Forex Edge, you probably have no idea what that means. Basically, if you think about the currency market, and we'll go and open up the dashboard, the currency market operates in a range, and the reason that it operates in a range and it has fixed limits to that range within a given period of time is because there's two different commodities paired with each other. In other words, it's not just the Kiwi. There's not a Kiwi index. There is one, but the Kiwi index is actually measured against all these other currency pairs that you see, plus several others. And these pairs that we trade on the spot Forex market, there's one commodity paired against another. Like in the case of the Kiwi dollar, it's the Kiwi dollar and the US dollar, or the euro and the Japanese yen. And so there's always one side pressing against the other. I use the same example in a couple of the other movies, but if the pound Swiss is going long, that's probably because the pound is strengthening or the Swiss is weakening. Because if the Swiss was strengthening and the pound was strengthening, it's more likely to go sideways and choppy. However, if it's going choppy and up, that just means that the pound is strengthening at a greater rate than the Swiss. Hopefully that makes sense. Forex Speedometer operates under that same principle. It looks at the market based on each currency's ATR. What's an ATR? ATR stands for average true range. Each currency pair has its own personality, and it has its own personality per time frame. I'm going to open up our ATR table and kind of explain what I'm talking about. If you look at all 17 currency pairs, and you go down, let's just go down the 5 minute. And if you look at the 5 minute for each one, the euro dollar is 1.1. For the 5 minute, that's pretty low ATR right now. The pound dollar is 1.3. The Aussie is actually a little bit higher, right? The dollar Swiss is at 1.9 for the dollar CAD. And you can kind of see all the way to 5.4 right now for the Aussie dollar. So the Aussie dollar, or the pound Aussie rather, has the highest ATR right now, and it usually does actually. It's one of the more volatile currency pairs. So each currency pair, based on its ATR, its volatility, right, has its own personality. This tool takes into account that individual personality for each currency pair, and it measures it against its own history, and it tells you how fast things are moving in different time frames. So right now, the euro pound on the 1 hour time frame is actually moving a little fast, and if it gets all the way down in here to the red, we have a buy signal. We want to confirm that with another tool, but this gives us a great indication. We could just buy it, place a stop and a limit, and let it ride, and it would probably turn out okay. But you also want to take a look at why a particular currency pair is running really fast. Make sure to watch out for news. You always have to have news sort of in your back pocket. But so let's take a look at the euro pound 4 hour right now. So we go to the histogram, and we want to look at the euro pound. So we go over here and we look for the euro pound, and then we find it right here, and we go to the 240 minute, which equals 4 hours. Actually, we want the 1 hour, don't we? So let's do that again. Go to the euro pound, and we want the 60 minute. We want the 1 hour. We want to see why it's overextended. And see at a glance, if we were to look at this, just by looking at this dashboard, we think, wow, it's pretty overextended. But you can actually see that it's consolidating. And it was overextended over here, but it's actually not overextended right now. So what we want to do is we want to zoom out a little farther. So now we'll open up the 4 hour on the euro pound, and we'll get a little better picture of what's going on. We'll put that up here. My mouse will cooperate with me. There we go. And we can kind of see what's going on. The 1 hour is consolidating to the upside, and the 4 hour, you can see that it was overextended. It made a couple double bottoms, and now it's starting to roll up to the upside. We still really don't have a clear picture on it, so now we zoom out one more time, and we go to the euro pound daily, which is our largest zoom size. And now we can kind of see what's going on. It's trying to form a trend, a new trend to the downside. It just came off this long trend to the upside, and it's starting to form this new trend to the downside. However, that downward trend was overextended, and now it's consolidating. So what we'd like to see, ideally, based on this information that we have, is we'd actually like to look for an opportunity to short this currency pair. Hopefully everyone followed me on all that. And we can do that by zooming into some of the smaller time frames. And you can see right now the 1 minute is starting to overextend to the upside. So if that 1 minute got all the way up here into the dark green, then we could short the euro pound back in the direction of the newly formed trend. It's really that simple. This tool confuses a lot of people, so it may take your head a little longer to get the idea of it wrapped around. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask us. But this is a pretty simple tool. It's a pretty straightforward tool to use once you understand it. But please take some time. Always demo trade first. Don't just fire off live trades because you think there's a trade there. Make sure that you demo trade until you have a consistent pattern of winning trades. And again, if you have any questions at all, please open up a support ticket. Thanks.